What's going on, everybody? We are back with another exciting episode to discuss terminal tackle. What is terminal tackle, you might ask? Well, in short, terminal tackle is the stuff that goes on the end of your fishing line. In this episode, we'll discuss the three main hooks you're going to need to know before heading out on the water. So stick around and find out, because we're starting right now. Hey you, this is me, A.D. Ross with Novi Outdoors, where we provide tips, tactics, and techniques for beginners who seek to make waves, blaze new trails, and become more efficient in the great outdoors. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. P.S. If you are new here, I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button right there so you can be notified every time we release one of these cool little videos we got going on here. Alright, so let's get to the point. You see what I did there? Because we're talking about hooks, right? Anyway, the first hook that I wanted to talk about and share with you today is going to be the circle hook. Now, the circle hook is a very important hook you're going to want to know when you head out there on the water. All right? Now, the purpose of a circle hook is not only used for live bait, but also for, cut bait or some other baits that you might use when you're out there fishing on either salt or fresh water. Now, I like to use the circle hook for live bait. You can hook this up through the lips of a fish and throw it out in the water, and something's going to come out and get it. All right? So the benefits of a circle hook is that it is less likely to get lodged in a fish's throat. So what I mean by that is a lot of times with hooks, you got to set that hook to make sure you get a good what's called hook set in the fish's mouth. When the hook goes in the corner of the fish's mouth, so you got a fish on the line, you want to reel him in, well, the circle hook kind of does the job for you. So once the fish gets this in his mouth and he starts swimming off, the circle hook will actually pull to the corner of his mouth and hook up for you. So keep the circle hook in mind because it's a great one to have with you. The next hook I wanted to talk about is the treble hook. Now, the treble hook is also good for live bait, or not live bait, cut bait or anything of that nature. They are also apparent on different hard baits that you might be throwing. And the hard baits that you might be throwing, you're thinking like crankbaits or top water plugs or any other bait like that, which we will get into a little later on in another video. But I just want you to notice the treble hook as one of the main hooks that you're going to need to know when you're just getting started. And last but not least is probably my favorite hook of them all. Now, this is only covering 3 of the main hooks, so don't get too bent out of shape. Get it bent out of shape if I don't cover one that you specifically know and or use today, because we're going to get into that a little later. But last but not least, like I said, is probably my favorite, which is the EWG hook. Now, the EWG, if you didn't know, stands for extra wide gap. Now, you see the gap in this hook, how it juts out a little bit further than the rest, and you see how the hook is parallel with the eye of the hook. Well, this is a great hook for throwing soft baits and Texas rigging them, which is something we'll get into a little bit later because that's a little too much information for this video. So we're going to hang on to that content for a little bit later. We don't want to give it all to you right out the gate. We want you to stick around for a little while because we're having fun with this thing. And I hope you're having fun because I'm having fun if you can't tell. The EWG hook is one of my favorites because I throw a lot of soft plastics. Being down where I'm at, there's a lot of weeds and a lot of structure and a lot of cover, so it's easy to get snagged. Well, the way I can rig this is to where this hook is underneath the plastic that I have rigged on top of it. So I can throw that pretty much daggum anywhere and it ain't going to get hung up. Now, see, that was my biggest problem when I was just starting out, was I didn't want to throw anything that I'd get snagged and I'd lose, because some of these baits cost a little bit of money and you don't want to go throwing them into a brush pile and getting it stuck and hung up and lose it. So I've noticed that the EWG hook is probably one of the best for me, or for any beginner for that rather. So give this one a try when we get into how to rig these soft plastics on this hook. because this is a great hook to have. And the first thing I thought when I saw this hook, or a hook just like it, right? I was like, dadgum, that's a big hook. What kind of fish is going to swallow that? Well, come to find out, largemouth bass will swallow it. Because, I mean, not swallow it, you want to pull it out before he gets it down in his gullet, right? You know, this is a great hook to throw. Largemouth, being that they got a big mouth, so they ain't really too scared of this here EWG hook. Okay, now I tell you what, I'm going to link everything that I just showed you here down in the description. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, you're more than welcome to. It's going to be on the Bass Pro Shop, the website. So that's a great site. You can go check out a lot of this gear, and I'm going to link it up for you so you can find it pretty easily. Now I tell you, if you're enjoying the content depicted in these little videos that I'm doing here, if you just picked up on this one, go ahead and check out some of the other ones. I'm going to link them here at the end of the video. But we're having us a good time here, and we want you to be a part of this community. So I want to ask you guys, what kind of hooks do you use right now, currently? I want you to let me know in the comments right down there, okay? What hooks do you use right now? Do you use any of these hooks that we talked about here today? And if you do use these hooks, what kind of applications are you using on? Like I mentioned with the treble hook, okay? Are you using that on a hard bait? Or are you using that with some kind of cut bait attached to it? Maybe like for catfish or something. How about the circle hook? Are you using that for your live bait applications? And of course, my favorite, like I mentioned, the EWG hook. Do you use this bad boy? If so, what size? Now, with all these hooks, sizes do matter. So we'll get in another video on that, because like I said, I can't be giving you all the tricks and tips in one video. So stick around, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content depicted in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. That'd be really nice if you did that. All right. So with that being said, I want y'all to remember that in the beginning, we all had to start somewhere. I just want to take a moment here at the end and thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. God bless you. Take care and go and catch some fish, because Novi is out.